How's it, everybody? Celtic Clink here. We are back for another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we have the AGL Gomah. We got this guy 55% level 1 links right out the gate, and we are ready to test this guy out. This guy might just be the best 55% unit in the game, and here's why. See, he has an interest animation that activates once only when you have a demonic power or terrifying conquerors ally upon the team, and it gives him 40% evasion for 4 turns. His basic effect gives him key 5 and 333% attack and defense, and a chance for a critical hit, chance of evading enemies attack, and damage reduction rate 33%. He recovers 15% HP at the end of the turn, and before receiving 3 attacks in battle, he has 66% damage reduction. He has 200% defense when receiving an attack, and after receiving or evading an attack, he gets an additional 200% attack and great chance of launching an additional super attack within the turn. He gets attack and defense 150%, high chance of key 1, and attacks 100%, and a 333% defense buff out as the second attacker in the turn. So basically, so since he's starting here in slot 1 this turn, next turn when he shows up and goes into slot 2, he'll get that 333% defense. But that's not the kicker, right? The real kicker is the start of each turn buff. 150% at the start of each turn, including this turn, increases his stats every single turn. He stacks without having to stack, and that's quite an impressive ability. He also gets an additional 50% chance of another 100% attack. So, really insane. Not only that, he has a giant form, and he supports on his 12 key. So, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna stick our Gomah here in slot 1. Here, so we're gonna link him next to Rose. Rose is pretty much his best partner. It's not his best partner, but for most of the teams you're going to want to run him on. It's pretty much his best partner. Other good partners include a few of the Friezas, right? I mean, he's got a pretty general link set with things like Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, Fierce Battle, Fear and Faith. So, I mean, if he were, if he had a greater link level right here, we would of course also have Big Bad Bosses active, but unfortunately we do not. So we're gonna go ahead and yeah, do that. We're gonna grab that with him, and we'll send off the baby here. All right, let's do that. All right, so we do take the tack, and there we go. So we're kicking things off with 30 million. Remember, we do get that buff initially for nice. And we do get the additional super attack. So we do get that buff whether we evade or dodge. And looks like we didn't proc any of the dodge. What is that? 40% plus 33%. So we had a 70% chance to dodge there, and we missed both. So that kind of sucks. But you're gonna see, right? We had 300k start of turn defense with that damage reduction, with that dodge there, and then so we'll see next turn how much we get that increase. There we go. Alright, and then baby's going to do his thing. Perfect. Alright, and that's going to drive us into the next phase. We are in the Divine Wrath Mortal Will, just because I need an event that's semi-long so we can kind of see the build-up, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so let's send him off. Actually put AGL Rose. That's probably the safer option here. Let's put AGL Rose in front. So I did bring Omega, because Omega can be useful. We got to kind of watch out for him on the supers, but you know, the support he's given to full power is kind of helpful, so we did kind of bring him for that mostly. I suppose we could have supported by like having like Daima Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but I decided to run a full villain team for this, so that really our entire showcase is focused on Gomah. So the secondary rotation is literally just stalling until I'm ready to proc the giant form for Gomah. That's literally all it is. Excellent, and we get those dodges in, and there goes the Omega. Alright, so we're just gonna drop things, aren't we? Yeah, okay, so we're actually just gonna drop this phase entirely. No build up on our Gomah on this turn. Okay, so into the blues phase then. Oh, here we go. That's right. I forgot I had Omega on the team. Yeah. So we'll proc that domain for him towards the end. Alrighty, so yeah, so we do have Omega here for that helpful buff that he's going to give with his domain. While the domain won't directly buff Gomah, it will allow us to deal more damage, and it'll help out Baby, really, and Rose, so there's always that. So you can see how much we jumped up on defense, nearly double our defense here. I don't think we got the attack buff, though, looking at what we got here. So let's see. Let's go ahead and grab that. Remember, so on his passive, right? Since we got the evasion here, remember we're still within our 4 turns, by the way, of the additional 40% evasion, and we have one more attack with the 66% damage reduction up. But we do want to try to evade another attack for that additional 200% attack. So hopefully we can proc it. I mean, if we don't, it's not that big of a deal. But obviously that extra attack buff is always a plus. All right, so let's do that. We're going to save Omega's domain for a little bit later. There we go. Okay, so now we proc that evasion, and we're going to get that buff. So 42 million on the second turn. Remember, we don't have big bad bosses active here, mind you. And then now we get an additional 20% defense support for our allies through this through that 12 key there. And here comes the super. We do dodge it because we're still within our turn. So I guess that makes up for last turn. So, I mean, look at that. 55% level 1 links. No big bad bosses. He's already surpassed Rose on Rose's second turn. And my Rose is level 10 links. And, you know, 79%. So, I mean, that already bodes well for him. I don't actually know. I mean, judging by how much damage we're actually dealing here, I don't know if we'll actually be able to see. Yeah, I don't know if we'll actually see what we need to see here. Like, I don't think we're going to get, based on how we're handling things, I don't think we're going to get, we may not be able to activate big bad bosses within this fight. I don't think we're going to take the... Well, let's see how Baby handles these dodges. I think that's really going to be the kicker here. We got both of our babies on this rotation, so one of them will rotate off. The cool thing about Gomah is that we've discovered that Giant Form counts as advancing the turn for his passive. So if we use our Giant Form, we can get an extra stack up on him. So that's kind of cool. So I might just use his Giant Form on the next phase of on the next phase here. All right, so let's do that. Ooh, this is a risk. Okay, we'll take the risk because I want to get the Giant Form over there. So we'll take the risk. Hopefully that's the super attack does look like it's the oh geez, of course. Yeah, so the super attack does look like it is the first attack there. So you know that should be Baby does have the highest chance to dodge on the first attack. Although our baby in the first lot decided to say no to that. Although it is a 55% friend, I think. So I mean there is that. There we go. So he dodges that one. Yeah, of course. Okay, well, hopefully we get the buff we need. There we go. Hopefully we just dodge that super and we can eat the normals here. There we go. Maybe I should have just put Rose there. Knowing Rose would tank, maybe I should have just done that. So Baby is probably his best team. I think, aside from his own, of course, I do think Baby is probably his best team. So it's one of his only 220. Diamond Goku is also a 220% for him. But like I said, I wanted to run the villain team here. I honestly thought I was tossing Slug on here to give the domain. I do want to try that out. Because Slug would give him a domain. There we go. Oof. Okay, come on. Dodge the super, bud. There we go. All right, we're solid. There we go. Okay, so we can tag Rose in now. Alrighty. Let's see here. Okay, so pretty decent jump here. So like I said, we're going to test this. We have another giant form coming on another turn, so we don't have to worry too much about that. But let's go ahead and let's test this here. So we're going to use Gomah's giant form here. Alrighty, and then let's use his active skill attack.
There's no way anyone can beat me in my current state. Now perish!
Oh shoot, we might actually kill him here. Dang. Okay, yeah, so quick reference here. His giant form isn't anything too crazy. It's your typical giant form stuff, although he does have a much larger attack increase percentage than most others get, right? He's got 333% on his attack. He gets 33% crits, key 3 per key sphere obtained, and effective against all types. And his super attack effect is raising his attack temporarily and causing destructive damage. So let's kind of see what happens here. I mean, if we kill him, we kill him. It's not the end of the world. Although, obviously, I would prefer... Yeah, let's just do that. We'll get 2 attacks, so maybe that's enough to not kill him. Okay, yeah. Okay, so as I expected, the giant form doesn't really do too much damage. Which is good. I mean... Giant forms, we've kind of moved past their usefulness offensively, and which is the way they used to be too, by the way. They kind of used to be not doing that much damage. There was this brief moment where we were getting really strong giant forms relative to the content that released. It was just so broken. But now we kind of see, right, the boss HP increases have, and damage reduction increases have increased so much that the giant forms aren't as useful as they once were. And... you know, that's fine. Alright, so 1 turn of giant form here. Alright, excellent. And we can see that the increase did occur, right? So that's what I wanted to demonstrate here with using that, is how much that it does work. And it looks like we may have gotten the attack. It's hard to tell, but I think we did get the attack buff on this one. Alright, I don't actually think it matters what Rose gets. Yeah, and so having Omega here, Omega is actually giving us a little extra defense, right? Because he's full power, right? Full power GT bosses, 40% attack, 20% attack for characters who are, oh, 60% attack. Okay, so we actually got to do pretty decent, we got a pretty decent support buff here from Omega. That's right. I forgot it was 60%, right? So we're taking double digits here. So 76 million. This is his 3rd appearance, mind you, at level 1 links. And actually, we do have Big Bad Bosses active now, too. So, you know, there's that. Alright, so we're going to do 2 things here. We're going to pop Omega's Domain.
Since the minus energy was released, it's now a matter of time before this planet is dead. I can feel the planet dying underneath me.
Alright, and then we'll put Omega in... no, actually. Ooh, this is tough. Alright, we have to risk the dodge with Baby, or use the... active skill. Because Omega's going to cancel that super. We can easily cancel the super right now. But I'm not sure if Giant Form advances the count for the domain. Let's do it. I don't want to risk Baby's dodge. I don't want to risk Baby's dodge.
This is the Blood's Wave amplifier. Right now.
Alrighty, so with that, let's go ahead and pop that. Alrighty, excellent. And then now we do that number. We'll grab that. Alright, I suppose we'll find out after this is finished or not, whether or not... I don't think Giant Form advances the counter for domains, but we'll see. I do think this might push him into the Fizz phase, which isn't the worst thing, actually. Pushing Trunks into the Fizz phase would help us, you know, probably kill next turn with the other Gomah. So I can't complain about that. I almost wondered if we should have tried out double Gomah here. That could have been fun. There we go. Okay. Oh, we actually got a second turn here. I wasn't anticipating that. I suppose I should have. Oh yeah, okay, so we're getting put, when this finishes, we're getting pushed into the Fizz phase, which means actually we didn't cancel the super, so maybe we should have just risked the, dodge with, Baby here. Dang, that's tough. I mean, but it's also kind of useful for dealing with Trunks, using the Giant Form to just push him out of his, standby. Because, you know, obviously we deal significantly less damage because he has a really high damage reduction here. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, we'll grab that. And then we'll send off AGL Rose. So, I guess we just gotta pray on that dodge. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Dang you, baby. Alright, we have, excellent. Okay, so now we should be able to take the normals. I can't tell. It looks like once again, it's really hard to tell sometimes, but it does look like the super is the first attack here. So I'm pretty sure Omega's going to cancel it out here. Very nice. Yes. Okay, I was right this time. I was wrong the last time, but at least we were able to tell this time. Perfect. Okay, and that sets us up for the next turn, which should be the final turn, because I'm pretty sure, right, we use Baby's Giant Form, give Gomah some extra stats, and then we just obliterate. Excellent. Oh, it's right there in slot 1, too. Alright, so we can see here, right, we got that increase in defense. Pretty decent increase. And it does look like Giant Form, so I was correct. The Giant Form does not increase the turn count for the domain. So we're going to go ahead. Actually, you know what? We might as well just turn that off. Just so we don't have to sit through it again. And then we'll pop Baby's Giant Form here. Well, actually, we shouldn't have done that. Whatever. Too late now. It's not like it's going to do that much damage anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. Maybe we can do this and maybe avoid some attacks here. There we go. Yeah, just so we don't end up doing too much damage. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously, we would like to see Baby Gomah probably take the super, which I think he could, right, with his what's he got? 1.2 million with 33% damage reduction. He could take it post-super. He's not taking it fully right now. But, of course, right, we have other teammates to take it right now. But, you know, give him a couple more turns, and he could probably take the super, because this is a 7 million super. Right. It does take him a while to build up to those, but he's got some, you know, he's got, that's the thing with him, right? For the early supers, you just use the giant form to help him deal with it, right? For fights like Festival, right, it's not going to matter because he's going to build up some crazy amounts of defense here that it won't matter. Okay, here we go. So second turn of giant form. And let's see here. Excellent. Alrighty, so now we just gotta hope we don't get a third turn here. And then we can just let Gomah do his thing. Alright, perfect. We do go back to normal here. Okay, excellent. So we did get the increase. Oh yeah, and it looks like we did get the 100% attack increase as well. And this time we will actually have Big Bad Bosses active too. Okay, so let's see here. So normally at this point, what I would do, right, is I would go into Rose and use, or I would go into Zamos and use his active. But we're not going to do that because we do want to try to let Gomah do his thing here. So I want to see if he should be able to tank the normals here. We do still have a small chance to dodge, and we do end up proccing it. 90 million. Holy crap. On his fourth appearance. 90 million on his fourth appearance. Jesus. What is this character? And now just imagine if we actually tried to push his support a little bit further. Wow. Okay, and then, yeah, like I said, we probably should have just went into Zamos without using his active. It's not that big of a deal. We might still kill here, regardless. Really gonna depend on what Baby and Rose decide to do here, actually. Okay, I think so my Baby's 79%, so if he procs the, there it is. Perfect. We got that crit, and he goes down. Okay, excellent. So, yeah, like, I mean, imagine if we pulled, like, some Gogeta shenanigans with him. He would have been even better, but I kind of wanted to just run him on a regular setup for him, which, like, Baby's team would be an average setup for this guy. Like, there's nothing crazy about this team. We're not juicing the crap out of Gomah. We're literally just running him next to Rose on Baby's team, who, again, as I mentioned, Rose is his most viable partner, and so if you want to run him, you're going to run him here on Baby's team. You could run a few options, right? There's some decent options in, like, there's some decent options in his own team under Terrifying Conquerors. Heck, you could even run Daima Goku's team, but I really did want to try to run him on a more villain-centered team, just for focus on that Big Bad Bosses, because if you run him on Daima Goku's team, you're not getting Big Bad Bosses active, right? There's no one on the team to give it to him, aside from, like, Slug or the TUR Gomah, which you could theoretically run because this Gomah is a giant form and the TUR is just Third Eye Gomah. So you could theoretically do that. And honestly, the TUR is not even that bad. I honestly couldn't say, like, if you had a spare copy, it might honestly be more beneficial, like, to keep 255%, one TUR and one LR, just so he could have a good partner to keep all of his links active. Like, it's that insane. Like, that's the level we're talking about with this guy. Like, I don't know what they're thinking. Did they just give up on balance here? Like, they were just like, screw it. We got 2 months left. We're power creeping them anyways in January, so have fun. I really don't know what the thought process behind here was, because just last month we got Broly, who is fun. Festival killer. He builds really fast, but he was very limited to just festival battles, right? Hard to use in short content. This guy works in both. I don't know what happened here, but I'm not complaining. It's great. He's amazing, and I love him. Never thought I'd say that about a Gomah. But they finally dropped. They made him broke him. They make him fun running, and I think that's kind of what you want to look for in a character like this. So, guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and in the comments down below, let us know what do you think of Third Eye Gomah. This might be the best yellow coin we've had, LR we've had in a very, very long time. A yellow coin LR that easily eclipsed most of the Dokkan Fests this year as the best LR. I can't remember the last time that happened. Maybe Future Gohan, but even that was kind of iffy. I can't think of the last time we've had a yellow coin LR eclipse the Dokkan Fests of the year. So that's kind of crazy. That's good for Gomah. So that's it for the video, guys. If nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.